Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to a new gaming pickups video. It's been a little while since we did one of these, but I think it's time. So, first up, towards the beginning of the year, I had problems with my mouse, my computer mouse, and I had to go and get a new one. And while I happened to be at Best Buy, I happened to notice they had something that was quite a bit hard to find at the time, and I just went ahead and jumped on it and got it. And I don't know if it's gotten any easier to find it, but it was still hard to find at the time, and that is the Super Nintendo Mini Classic Edition. Yes, I got my hands on one of these, and I have quite enjoyed it. It is a hell of a lot of fun playing through a lot of these games. About half of them I'd never played before, so this was a great chance to start playing them, especially Star Fox 2, which had never been released before until this. That one got canceled when they were like 96% done making it, and the reason why they canceled it was there wasn't anything wrong with the game. It's just Shigeru Miyamoto thought that it was too soon to the launch of the N64. He wanted more of a gap between what the Super Nintendo could do with polygonal graphics and what the N64 could do. So it's still a fun game. It's a bit weird. It's not quite what I expected based on my experiences with the original Star Fox and with Star Fox Zero, which up till now were the only two I'd ever really played. But it's still quite a bit of fun, and there's a lot of other games on here. You can actually see pictures of them all in the back. Some of these I already have. I've already played or beaten. Pretty much all the Mario games on here I already had. Mario World, Mario RPG, Mario Kart. Those are the only three on here, which is kind of surprising. Would have been nice if they put Mario All Stars as well, but I kind of understand why they didn't, because Super Mario All Stars was a collection package, a remaster of the original three Super Mario Brothers games plus the Lost Levels, which was the original Super Mario Brothers 2. And since those were remasters of NES games, it makes sense why they didn't put it on a Super Nintendo thing. Still, it's quite a bit of fun playing through all these games again. And again, a lot of them I'd never really had the chance to play before. I don't have the cartridges and so on. Games like Contra 3, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, which I haven't even started yet. The Kirby games, Dream Course and Superstar, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Castlevania 4. A lot of these games are really fun, and they really are classics. There are a couple games I wish had been on here, but I can sort of understand why they're not. I would have felt with the recent popularity of Stardew Valley that Harvest Moon would have been a perfect choice to put on here, but they do seem to focus a bit on multiplayer or co-op or competitive multiplayer games as well. Like at least half of the games support two players. Straight off the bat, you've got Contra supports two players. Donkey Kong supports two players. Earthbound, I'm not sure if it does. Final Fantasy 3 apparently supports two players during combat, which I wasn't ever really aware of. To me, it had always been a single-player game. F-Zero does two players. Kirby's Dream Course does two players. Superstar, I'm not sure about. Mega Man X is one. Secret of Mana definitely does two players. I actually want to say that does up to three, but I don't know how you would get three players on a Super Nintendo because there's only two controller ports. And as far as I know, there aren't like any multi-tap style peripherals like there were with the PS1 and 2. Star Fox is one player. Super Street Fighter 2 is two player, obviously. Super Castlevania 4 is one player. Ghouls and Ghosts one player. Mario Kart's two player. Mario RPG's one player. So, like, a lot of multiplayer games are on here. And again, it's really nice to be able to play these games, play them in HD. Although most of the filters don't look too good on a lot of these games when blown up to proper HD and stuff like that. So really, it's kind of a give and take. So still, it's great to have this. Good to have a bunch of this. I'm still hoping to eventually get an NES Mini Classic, but those Nintendo hasn't actually started producing more of those yet. So to try to find one, it's like $200 plus. So until that happens, I got just this one. After that, I ended up spending my tax return this year on something big, something massive. It's kind of off to the side here. Kind of a bit of a story. Back at the end of last year, I bought a new TV. My old TV had been kind of on the outs for a while, and it still works. I actually have it in my bedroom right now, but I bought a new TV. I bought a 4K HDR TV, and I didn't really have anything that could take advantage of it other than the fact that it's a smart TV, so I had streaming services where I could stream stuff in 4K, but I couldn't play anything in 4K. until now. There we go. I got the PS4 Pro, the 1 TB version. I didn't get any of the bundles. I probably could have, but none of the bundles really appealed to me that I saw. So I got the PS4 Pro, and it's been great playing a lot of these games in that support it in 4K resolution and HDR again when supported. It's really hard to describe what 4K and HDR does. I mean, 4K is just a straight resolution upgrade, okay? 4K is literally 4 times the resolution of 1080p. The actual resolution parameters of 1080p is 1920 by 1080 high, and 4K is 3840 by 2660, I think? No, 2460? I don't know. I'd have to actually do the math. No, not 2460. It would be 2160. Yeah, I think it's 2160 would be the vertical limit. But either way, it's 4K resolution, and it's literally 4 times the pixels of 1080p. So it's a much sharper, clearer image. And 1080p still looks great on my new TV, but 4K is just so much sharper. And then HDR is a wider color gamut, so colors that are produced are truer to life than we've ever seen on monitors and TVs before. And unless you actually go to a store or something to check out a 4K HDR screen and see what the difference is, it's very hard to notice. I've been able to see. Colors just sometimes pop, but otherwise, if you're not paying attention, you probably won't notice. It's just because it's much closer to what you see in real life. So obviously, because I got a new console, a new system, I had to get some games to go with it. And straight off the bat, when I went and picked it up, I got 2 games I knew were PS4 Pro enhanced, that they ran in 4K and did HDR. I ended up picking up the Wipeout Omega Collection, which is a remaster collection of Wipeout HD, Wipeout Fury, which was the DLC expansion for Wipeout HD, and also Wipeout 2048, which was the Vita game. I have HD and 2048. I never had Fury, but so that was the new content for me. But still, it's great playing through those campaigns in 4K, 60 frames per second, and HDR. It's beautiful. It really is stunning, and it plays really, really well. I don't know what else to say about this game. I love the Wipeout games, really. The other game I picked up at the same time, I haven't spent as much time with. I've already beaten the Wipeout Omega Collection, but the other game I didn't really spend as much time with, and I think it's because this isn't necessarily my type of game. People who love like Dark Souls and Demon Souls and that type of thing probably really, really enjoy this type of game, but I haven't quite gotten into it yet, and I don't know if it's partially because it's so online focused and I don't have PlayStation Plus and I don't want PlayStation Plus. But anyways, that game is Monster Hunter World, and again, it's 4K HDR. It is a beautiful, gorgeous game, and what I've played of it is fun, but I haven't really gotten into it, and I'm much more of a story guy when it comes to video games. Like racing games notwithstanding and so on, but the story of this just isn't all that great. I mean, granted, I haven't gotten all that far, only a couple hours in, but even still, there's not really much that's hooking me other than the concept of going out and hunting monsters. And I'll get back into it eventually. I'll play it eventually, but until then, it's not really my type of game. Another thing I picked up was another PS4 Pro enhanced game, and that is Sonic Forces. Now, I initially wanted this when it came out, but once I heard how short it was, I passed on it. And now that I've gotten it later for a cheaper price, I don't really regret it. It is extremely short. You can beat the game in an afternoon. I mean, I pretty much did beat it in an afternoon. There's 30 stages in total for the main story, but each stage is only like 2 to 5 minutes long. So again, it doesn't take more than a couple hours to beat the game. But it is gorgeous, it is beautiful, it is a lot of fun. My only gripes with it really are the classic Sonic stages where you're playing in a 2D plane as classic Sonic, but the physics don't feel right. He's got like too much weight to it. I don't know if I don't really know what else is going on with that. It just didn't quite feel right. And he didn't really seem to have a purpose in the story at all other than to give us a reason to play these classic Sonic stages. But even still, it was quite a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed that. Something else I picked up at the same time is not a PS4 Pro Enhanced game, but it is a remaster of a PS3 and 360 game. It is DMC Devil May Cry, the Definitive Edition. Now, I already had DMC for the PS3, but I never really got into it. I never spent much time with it. And I've been meaning to recently, and when I saw that the Definitive Edition was pretty cheap, and it advertised 1080p resolution, 60 frames per second, and included all the DLC, I pretty much had to get that instead of going back and playing the PS3 version. Again, I haven't gotten too far into this one. I'm only about a quarter of the way through. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I do know what happened. The reason why we're probably never going to get another DMC game from Ninja Theory is because a lot of people did not like the redesign of Dante. They didn't like that he had short black hair instead of white hair. They didn't like... I don't understand that. It's like, it's just a hair color. What's that matter? What's it really matter? It's still a lot of fun. It was a great reboot, I think. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing the rest of it. And the last game I have for this pickup video is another game I already have a previous version of. It is Final Fantasy 15, the Royal Edition. Now, I got the deluxe edition of the game back when it launched in the end of 2016, and I really enjoyed it. It's a hell of a fun game, although the story is really crap. The reason why I got the Royal Edition, though, is because I never played any of the DLC. I never bought or played any of the DLC, and the Royal Edition includes everything released up through the Royal Pack, which was just what just came out. They are apparently planning more DLC to come out sometime this year, but everything up through till now. So you've got the new Royal Pack, you've got Episode Ignis, Episode Prompto, Episode Gladiolus, and the multiplayer expansion Comrades. So I haven't played any of the DLC yet. I've been playing through the game again on New Game Plus, and I kind of plan to play through each DLC segment as I reach that point in the story. So we'll see what happens there, but it's still a lot of fun. And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, didn't it just launch on Windows as well? Why didn't you get that instead? But I probably will eventually get the Windows edition. It's just, you know, I already have this game. I already had played through it once on PS4, so I figure... Wow, that's loud. So I figure you may as well continue playing through it on the same platform. Plus, I have a PS4 Pro now. This is a PS4 Pro Enhanced game, so I've got 4K resolution, HDR, and that stuff I don't have on my computer because even though my computer is powerful enough to do that, I don't have computer monitors that'll do that. That's one of the next things I want to get is a 1440p or a 4K computer monitor, preferably with HDR, but those don't really exist yet. They're still on their way, so we'll see. Anyways, that is it for the current gaming pickups video. I'll see you in a couple weeks for my next goals video. So until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.